I'm logged in as a coach, and I'm on the IMG Under Armour event, and I've selected the vertical tracking tab, and now I've selected also the Physiology 2 vertical tracking tab. So if we scroll down, you can see for each athlete we track the last event they've done, the previous event, and we compute the difference. Sometime, if there's a third event for that athlete, we put it underneath this yellow line here. Well, let's look at the estimated relative peak power. So of course we can sort here. Let's sort by the descending. So this is the highest, the person who's got the highest power, relative power. They've got 33.6 watts per pound, and this is most recently. And their previous value in July of 2009 was 35.3. So they've regressed a little bit here. So they've had they were at 35 watts per pound, and they've gone down to 33. So you can see a negative value here. They've regressed. Now Joe Hockey, for example, has improved by 1.2 units. Went from 29%, 29 watts per pound to 30 watts per pound. So an improvement of 1.2 units, about 3%. Joel regressed a little bit, and so did Jim. This is an example of vertical tracking for the vertical jump. Let's see the on-ice summary. We can look at their NTI score. We can sort it by NTI, and we can see that Jim was at 640, an NTI score of 641, and went down to 625. So from July till September, they've lost 16 points. Not good, Jim. This person, Joel, did not improve at all. Zero differential. Joe, on the other hand, Joe Hockey, went from 674 to 732, so there's an improvement of 58 points. This gives you an idea of the vertical tracking for this event. It's always what we always do with vertical tracking. How do we pick up the event? We start for the event that you've focused on, and we always look backwards. So if we're at the September 2009 event, backwards chronologically is July 2009. So you can see the event we're on is September 2009, and then the previous event is July of 2009. If we've selected this event, for example, and we picked Physiology 2, let's go ahead and sort it. So what we have here is we've selected the August 2010 event. These numbers here are relative to the August event, and the previous event was in May 2010, and you can see it here. And we can even go further one step to September 2009, and you can see that one here. But we only do the difference. This is the difference here of the last two events, the current event we're on and the previous event. So Jim improved all the way. You know, in May of 2010 he was at 28.8 watts per pound. He went to 29.5, and for an improvement of 0.7 units. But even if we go back to last year, the previous year, September 2009, he was at 27.9. So all in all, Jim improved power-wise from 27 to 28 to 29. And you can look at other measures, of course, and you can sort anything you want. So let's sort by the height in inches of the jump for the vertical jump, and we can see Jim went from 23 to 23 and a half to 24 and a half. Other athletes, Joel pretty much stays the same. He didn't improve between this time and last time, and he was better the year before. Um, Joe improved, was at 30.6, regressed a little bit, and then got back to 30.6. So, in a nutshell, this is how you can use vertical tracking, in that you can track you can start with the current event and the previous event, and if there's even an older event, we go ahead and put it here. And this is the difference. Uh, uh, the difference, a positive difference means the value increased, a negative difference means the value decreased. Nothing to it. The the vertical tracking is nice because you can get a number of the difference. In units you can get an idea of how did my athlete do, did they improve or not. Now if you wanted to see a timeline for all events, for example, you wanted to see not only this event of August, of May, and the previous September event. I want to see everything for Jim. Well, then a better way to look at it is to use the athletes compare page. So you'd come here and you'd select all your athletes and you'd say, okay, give me the athletes compare page. And this way, if you didn't have to select all your athletes, you could have focused on one athlete. But look, let's look at Jim. You can say, okay, Jim, we want to see. So I'm going to minimize this guy. I want to see how you did when it comes to the body fat, or even let's go further down. Let's take the vertical jump. I'm just getting rid of stuff really fast here. All we want is to look at the vertical jump. Here's the vertical jump. Let's go ahead and expand all the events that you've been in, Mr. Jim Blue Line, and we can see this is chronological. This is July 09, September 09, May 2010, and August 2010. And you can see Jim was at 29 pounds per watt, went down to 27, and then eventually improved. And the final test that Jim did, he's improved over the first. But you can see there was regression here. There was regression, but then they improved and improved again. So the athletes compare page give you a more extensive view of vertical tracking. Now, granted, with the vertical tracking, you get the difference. You get a value for the difference. You get a value for the difference here. Whereas with vertical tracking, you don't. It's just raw value, and you have to just look at them. You can sort them, of course. By sorting them, you can see where you. So if we were to go back to athletes report and just focus on Jim and get a focus on Jim. We said just Jim. Get a athletes compare of only Jim and all his events. You can see Jim. Let's expand the events here. So if I hide all and then just focus on the show the vertical jump, and you can see chronologically, it always, when you expand these values here by clicking, when you click on these links here and expand them, it always places them chronologically. So the oldest event, July of 2009, September 2009, May of 2010, and August 2010. So you can see the progress here. They regressed a little bit and then improved, and finally the final value is better than when they first tested with us. So this is it. This is our vertical tracking tab.